Welcome to the Movement Driven Podcast with Dr. Greg Goldberger, where we help you bridge the gap between pain and performance. Each week, we'll share strategies, insights, and real-life applications to help you keep moving and stay driven. Now, let's get into this week's episode of the Movement Driven Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Movement Driven Podcast. I'm Dara, and I'm here with Dr. Greg. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Dara. How are you?
I'm doing good. Still kind of giggling.
Yeah.
We did.
Sometimes in podcasting, you start and then things happen and you start again.
Yeah.
And then the audience is none the wiser.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
It's totally fine.
And this blooper reel that you keep threatening me with will eventually include what just happened. So it's fine. They'll find out eventually.
I love when I'm going through some of the other like home exercise program videos and like you got your like little mess up and you're just like, okay.
On to the next.
Beware. All right. So we've kind of got a little bit of summer sillies at this point.
That's
because
right.
It is the end of the summer.
You think we'd be well rested and on point. But we still got like 2 more weeks for that, I guess.
Yes. So, as summer is kind of coming to an end, maybe for people who are listening who don't have kids, they really don't. It's just like
another day.
Yeah.
Except traffic gets worse.
True. But people that do have kids, obviously you've got to keep them entertained, but your job doesn't stop.
It's like a totally different phase of life that you enter. Yeah.
Yes. So, we're going to be kind of shifting into getting ready to the fall. And there's people on 2 different like spectrums of this. Sometimes some people really, really went after the summer and picked up some extra activities. Maybe they didn't really work out before and now they added a bunch of stuff. Or maybe they did work out and then they took away a lot of stuff because of traveling. So there's this like spike of kind of injuries, so to speak, that will happen in probably the next few weeks as people transition.
Yeah, and to your point, I think maybe the injuries have already happened, or it's in one of those case scenarios they could be happening. I think the other thing too is people they want to enjoy their summer, and so they'll put off some more chronic-y things and then they get into a schedule, and by September we usually tend to be pretty busy, which is fine. I welcome it all. But I think to your point, people have tried some different things. They've been in and out of routine. Diet's been in and out. All of the sleep patterns are different. Different temperature changes based off where you travel and whatnot. So all of those things can kind of make up a pattern in which your body's not optimally performing when you are working out.
Yeah.
And now when one thing goes kind of out of whack, then that domino effect starts. So I think it's just the biggest piece of advice is just get back into your routine. Mm-hmm. Whatever that routine is, the one that you had before, just try to assimilate that and do so like progressively, and don't try to do everything right away, especially if you've been lazier. But we do see quite a spike over the next month or so. Yeah,
absolutely. And so just kind of looking back at what we've kind of talked about this summer, shoulder pain, like sciatica, knee pain, things like that. What do all 3 of these have in common?
Shoulder pain, sciatica, and knee pain. What do they have in common? They're the 3 most common things I see, I guess. These are things that I think shoulder pain, sciatica, and knee pain are almost like you're almost bound to get them at one point or another. It's just a matter of what are you doing to prevent those things? So they're different body parts, and not all the same type of tissue gets damaged, but they're just the low back, the knee, and the shoulder are just these things that we're using all day, every day, especially if we're active. So the other part of that though is I think like the body is one connected system. And like I had somebody today and this is a discovery call I had today. And she's like, as soon as one thing started, it felt like all of these other things started. And there is that physical, snowball effect of, well, if I'm not moving well in this facet, then that's going to affect my ability to do X, Y, Z. And then before you know it, other things start to bother and I'm out of routine. But I also think there's kind of like, I don't know, a psychosocial part of this of where once you are hurt, you start worrying about and focusing and ruminating all these other things physically. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that on the stress and anxiety kind of forefront. But even from the physical pain standpoint, you start to notice things and you're just more self-aware and you're like, what, my knee looks different. It's like, well, it'll probably look like that for the last 30 years, but you're just paying more attention. So But I think what we can say when we have these common issues, we talk about the connections, whether it's a kinetic chain or a psychosocial behavior. But the thing that's the key takeaway is like those are never the actual thing at fault.
Right.
Like it's not the knee, it's usually the hip or the foot and ankle. It's not the low back, it's the core, or it's the hip mobility, or it's not the shoulder, it's your thoracic spine and your shoulder mobility. So the biggest takeaway is whatever you think is bothering you, it's not that. You got to search elsewhere.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. And then I feel like, because it's summer and they're busy and there's lots of travel involved, there's a lot of like, I'll just rest it.
Yeah.
And you'll feel better for a little bit, but then it ends up coming right back.
And rest, honestly, like they used to say, was that rice, rest, ice, compression, elevation. That's so far from accurate. I would agree with, no, I don't even agree with any of that. The rest part, like it's, if you just rest, that might be one of the worst things you could do. Like, are you modifying? Are you taking certain things out of your routine? I have knee pain, so I'm not going to run and jump right now. I'm going to avoid impact. Maybe I'm not going to go heavy. Maybe I'm going to avoid certain depths. Maybe I'm going to avoid certain things where I do a front squat, it bothers, but I do a back squat, it feels great. So I'm going to focus on back squats. So there's modifications that are obviously happening. So when we say rest alone is not going to solve the problem. We need to kind of fill the void and continue to prop up other things while we're letting certain tissue heal so that we can get back to the activities we love doing. Versus if I rest, now I'm deconditioned, now I'm weaker, now I'm tighter, now I have to rebuild, and it might add a whole nother month to that rehab process.
Yeah, no, for sure. So you had mentioned like September is usually just like industry wide. That seems to get busier. We touched on this a little bit. Obviously, we're talking about like the August injury spike and things like that. But why is this such a predictable pattern?
Well, I think when you're talking, we talk about just people are getting a routine, so they're finally like, oh, let me go. I have a set schedule. Let me go act on this now. So I think a lot of it is just people are busy in the summer and they're not going to spend their time with me in a physical therapy clinic. They'd rather be at the beach.
Yeah.
And I'll meet them at the beach. It's fine. But when we talk about, the kind of subset of what you described as, well, I've been out of routine. I've worked out here and there, but now I'm getting back into routine. It's when they go too hard, too much, too soon. It's always a volume problem. We've talked about this with our athletes, from a baseball player and throwing too much too quickly, our runners and trying to return from a time off or a mild injury too quickly, then they get a worse injury. It's always too much volume too quickly. And then we can kind of talk about the load and load management, right? We can load volume in terms of how many reps and sets are we actively doing per week, or how many miles are we running, how many pitches are we throwing, so we can reduce pure volume. But we can also have all of these other things that we're having influence on in terms of factors that we can manipulate. And anybody who works out kind of knows this, right? We can reduce the resistance that we're pushing against. We can reduce the intensity that we're trying to actually exert. We can change the speed of the contraction. We can change the range of motion. We can change the cadence. There's so many little factors that we can change, still make things difficult, but we don't have to put everything. I'm doing as many reps, as many sets. I'm working as many days a week because I got to catch up. Because I haven't been working out for 2 months, and I put on weight so I got to catch up. Well, before you know it, you're out of commission. Now we're actively resting, and I'm holding your hand through a process of, now you're definitely not losing the weight or maintaining the weight because of the caloric. You're not able to work out to that extent because of injury. So take your time, progressive load, progressively increase your load, your volume, your intensity, all of those factors over time throughout August to September. And so you're just back in the routine again.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's better to just slowly but surely progress as opposed to just, like go 0 to 100.
Yeah. So I think like each day you could kind of pick like, I'm going to go hard I'm going to do as many reps as I can. But you're not also doing as heavy weight as you can day one. Right. Like I'm going to go lightweight, but I'll go to failure every set. I think that's fine because I'm doing lightweight. Right. Or you say like, like I was lifting pretty routinely. I only took a few weeks off. Let me go moderately heavy, but I'm only going to do like sets of 5 today. I'm going to go super slow. I'm going to focus on form. I got a really good warm up. Like there's just ways. I always tell my patients, it's like, what's your intention? What's your focus? I can give you one exercise and it can have 3 different foci depending on what You do a single leg squat, and I can tell you, I want you to work on the balance in this. I don't care about form as much. I don't care about depth. I don't care about anything of don't touch your other foot to the ground and work on balance. Or I can say, take balance out of it. Hold on to something. Load some weight and get deep and strong for me with this one today. It's just a matter of what are we trying to influence and why. And if we're trying to prevent injury, then it's just, hey, be creative with how you're styling your workouts as you're progressing.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's definitely like, especially for, women, I feel like I run into this pattern of, around once a month, I, don't feel as strong,
For
or
sure.
I don't, run as fast, or
And it's not a feeling. It's a legitimate physiological difference.
Thank you.
And hormones, and it's a huge. And then there is the psycho part of that of,
yeah.
F that. Like, I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
And so, and that's, if you do happen to be like regular with your cycle, I think use that to your advantage of scheduling your workout programs around that, right? Like, I think a lot of people, they rely on going to their gym and programming and coached, and obviously gyms, I love gyms, they serve their purpose.
Right.
But you can't individualize for people. And if you have 15 women in a class and they have 15 different patterns and cycles, then chances are 3 of them today are not going to have a good workout.
Right.
And it's up to you as an individual to understand that.
Yes.
And change. Hey, this week, I'm going to focus on form. I'm going to focus on mobility. I'm going to focus on recovery. I'm going to get a massage this week. This is my week to do that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to bust my ass for 3 weeks and burn hell and burn calories and freaking get super toned and whatever the goal is, super buff, whatever your goal is.
Yeah.
But like, be strategic about these things. Because if you're programming, if somebody's programming directly for you, that would be part of the program if you're a female athlete, or should be.
Yeah, for sure. No, I just say that to say, like, it's kind of how the general masses, like, for like men, like this summer is kind of like your cycle, like, it's like different routine, and just like not, you're traveling or you're going whatever, so to kind of like bring it all back of like
hormone changes and
different, you know what I mean? So like, I think that I think this goes partly into the mindset of like, you don't have to go balls to the wall every single time you're working out.
Yeah.
Like just because you're not maxing out or burning out every single workout doesn't mean that you're not having a good workout.
For sure. And you could argue that doing that is going to inhibit you from reaching max effort within an individual workout. So then the caloric benefits or the caloric deficits that you're trying to achieve are not there. Right? Like, I had this conversation with somebody this morning, somebody that that goes to them. But we were talking about, listen, you coming off this injury, you work out at an intense CrossFit style exercise program 6 days a week. You're now approaching, you're in your 50s. Like, what are we doing there? Like, I'm not saying 6 days can't happen this week, but does it have to happen every week?
Yeah.
There needs to be a week where I'm going to work out 4 days, and then I'm going to do Pilates core routine on YouTube at home, and I'm going to go for a swim on the other 2 days. Yeah. Or like, more diversity in your programming, more comprehensiveness, change it up. We don't have to always lift heavy or always run or always jump. We can slow things down and still get a workout that will then enhance your ability to do the other stuff you love to do and want to do even better. Oh, I'm not moving well. I don't have the mobility here. Well, let me work on that in these yoga postures.
Yeah.
So that now I have access to this and I gain strength. And so these are the things that are always in my head when I'm working with my clients. Yeah. It goes much more into, oh, your knee hurts, let me rub your quad. Like, that is not, it might seem like that on the surface, but there's so much more strategy at play. Yeah. And I'll take this point to say, if anybody's listening and you need help kind of getting out of these ruts, you don't have to be hurt. It can just be a poor movement quality, or just not understanding how to get out of a rut and not plateau. And so we can help you with that too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have to definitely also, we talked about the heat and being in Florida in the summer, as well as like knowing like I just wrote an article for Graham about this, about how, like, this is the time of year where you are going to start feeling weaker, and it's not because you're weak. You're going to feel like you're slower. It's not because you're slow. A lot of it is that it's freaking 99 degrees outside,
Right.
So like there's definitely, I mean, even one of your patients here, but one of our top athletes at Graham, like even he was like, yeah, I literally was starting to think like, am I like out of shape or something?
Right.
And then he was like, and then after I read the article, I was like, oh, it's definitely, it's got to be the heat. It's got to be the heat.
Well, and that's what we talked about like in the summer themed episodes. But when you think about it, like, what are we just out of the first month of summer? So we're just getting into the middle of summer.
Right.
We still have like a solid month and three
Oh,
quarters.
it's gonna still be hot to like.
And so you're navigating, and so Floridians, you're navigating the heat while then dealing with the stressors of your kids are starting routines, and you're stressed along with them, and there's just, it's life, but it's a phase that I think we all kind of feel.
Yeah.
So yeah, how are you handling it?
Yeah, for sure. So just on that note of how you're handling it, when you have these aches or tightness, before they taper off, or before they, maybe they think that it's just stretching or whatever the case is, what should they do before it becomes something bigger?
Yeah, I mean, my easiest answer is like, call me. Like,
Right.
literally call me, text me, ask me. I think when you have soreness, I hear this is a common thing. When we get in our 30s, 40s, 50s, the soreness that once went away in our teens and 20s, you strain something to work on, it'll be better in 3 days. That stuff, it happens and you're like, oh, it'll go away. And then before you know it, it's 3 months later and it's worse.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, and I just realized I haven't golfed because of the, or whatever it is. I haven't done these activities, and it's changing the way I'm living my life. And that happens pretty rapidly. So I guess the biggest thing is like even mild soreness, the feeling of fatigue in a certain body part on a certain day. It could be a sign that your body needs rest and or treatment or deep tissue massage or whatever it is. It needs something that it's not getting.
Right.
Because soreness, yes, delayed onset muscle soreness after a tough workout in a muscle group you haven't done is completely normal, and in my opinion is sometimes necessary. But if you're continually sore in an area more than once or twice, seek some advice right away. Don't sit on it, because then it's going to turn into something bad. So that's my biggest piece of advice.
For sure. And so for the person who's listening who is like, yeah, okay, well, I've been having this thing and I want to get it checked out, but I got to go get a referral from my doctor. I think a lot of people, I run into this a lot with questions for people calling, because they think they need to get a doctor's referral to see you. So can you explain how direct access works?
Yeah, for sure. This is something we probably should have a whole episode on. Direct access in Florida is cool, in which you can see a physical therapist for 30 days without needing a script for referral. And that law includes insurances need to reimburse for those visits. You do not need a referral from a physician. After 30 days, the state says we'd like a physician to be involved if this situation's still going on, and make sure nothing systemic was missed and we don't need imaging, and just to have another set of eyes on it. But 99% of the people that come to see us haven't seen a doctor yet for what they do. And if imaging is required, or if I feel like this isn't something that will improve upon, we're the first to say, hey, let's refer you somewhere else. But for the most part, if you go see the doctor or the orthopedist, the first step is try physical therapy, if the doctor's any good. Or it's, let's do an injection. Let's get an x-ray that says nothing about soft tissue, by the way. It's just going to tell you, like, do you have arthritis or a fracture? That's all it will tell you. So you're actually just speeding up the process by going straight to the therapist, and then, oh, let me set the doctor's appointment now, because it's going to take 4 weeks to get to see them anyway. Right. So get the process started. We can start getting you feeling better within the first visit, but definitely by the first 2 or 3. And then, like I said, if we're not seeing progress after a few weeks, then, hey, let's send you the physician. What's going on? Do we need some other supplemental treatment, or did we miss something? But for the most part, people are feeling a lot better after 3 or 4 sessions.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll go ahead and land this plane, just because, we're getting into...
Man, that's a tough one. Do you know the basketball reference you just said there?
No.
as a Heat fan, Pat Riley was trying to land a plane of LeBron James, and he lost out on LeBron James. It's been a big thing in my life, Dara. You can cut this out if you'd like.
Well,
Sorry.
I've noticed the
I interrupted
chatter.
you.
I've noticed the chatter.
It just hit me hard. I was
Where
pretty
did he
upset.
end
This
up again?
he's in with the Philadelphia Sixers,
Oh, okay.
which is
Well,
I'm crying a little bit as a Heat fan. You just hit me in the heart with the landing the plane
sorry,
reference. No, you're fine, but
didn't
land the
realize
plane.
that It was a.
Land the plane. No, you could take all of this out. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay.
I thought you knew what you were doing there.
Yeah, I did. I literally would not have.
This is all I've been paying attention to.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I'll live. That's not why I was sad this week.
Yeah.
Please cut all this out, Dara.
Yes, I will.
All right, just your land the plane thing.
All right, awesome. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and wrap everything up. And as we're getting back into routines and back into just normal everyday life, like, let's have y'all call us. If you've been dealing with something, pushing something to the side all summer long, it's time to get in and to get it right so that you can keep moving better, because the chaos of summer might be over, but there's always some kind of chaos going on, and there's always a reason why you should put yourself off, but you should definitely
The best time to call was yesterday.
Yeah. So if listeners remember one thing from today's episode as they head into August and new routines and training, what do you hope that is?
I think it's just kind of to wrap it up. It's let's make sure that we're doing things progressively. As always, don't load too much too quickly. And at any sign of something weird going on, if it's lasted more than 5 to 7 days, give us a call. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks, Dr. Greg. This is a great episode, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
See you guys.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Movement Driven Podcast with Dr. Greg Goldberger. Want to see how we're helping people in Jacksonville bridge the gap between pain and performance? Head on over to movementdriven.com. Until next time, keep moving, stay driven.